It is September 18, 2014. I decided to wear a tie, but I didn't feel like tying it, so I'm wearing the tie without tying it. Okay, more serious topic. In the past, before every time silver has breached a current level and went down, I have noticed that there's panic and fear in the message boards and comments. When I say panic and fear, I don't mean, oh no, we're afraid. I mean mass delusion and trying to convince themselves and others, like mass desperation. And of course, when I say I notice these things, this is anecdotal evidence. It isn't like scientific proof. So what I'm telling you is anecdotal evidence. It's not scientific proof. It's not telling you something's going to happen for sure. But today, I saw several posts in some group I belong to where people seem very desperate to convince everybody that silver's the greatest thing ever. So, before I continue, I want to say a lot of people I know say that silver at these levels is the buying level. They're saying that when silver was like over 40, that was the selling level. Silver under 19 is a buying level in the long term. So a lot of traders who are saying silver over 40 are now saying under 19 we're in the buying zone, right? The buying zone, in their opinion, doesn't mean it can't go down. You could be in the buying zone, buy at like 1852 right now, and the thing can go down more, right? But in a long-term basis, they say we're in the buying zone. And that is their analysis, which I'm repeating to you. Okay, so, like, I see these posts. One guy is saying that silver is the greatest investment ever. I challenge you to find a better investment. I'm like, well, right now, silver's 1852. It was almost 50 in 2011. Saying it's the best investment ever when most people who hold it are underwater probably isn't the right argument. Saying it has great potential, yes. Saying we're in the best, but I was reading this post. It was like this long, and it was throwing at you every possible desperation that we've heard before. And it's like, wait a second. This is 2014. We heard that in 2011. Come up with new material. Another post was saying that the Banco de Aztec Mexico or something, they're buying silver back at over 20. This must show. So I went to the webpage and they're buying back the Libertads or Libertads. Where I got one here. I got one here somewhere. It's under my stack of stuff. But anyhow, these are semi-numismatic Libertads, Maples, American Eagles. These have semi-numismatic premium. So the dealers will buy these back for you above spot price, right? Because they are buying them from you above spot price does not mean that they're going to pay for your random silver at spot price. Like, this Bank of Mexico is not going to give me 20 bucks an ounce for this silver thing, right? No. It's for Libertads anyways, or even this silver quarter. They're not giving me 20 bucks an ounce for this stuff. No. So I see these posts, it smacks of desperation. They're trying to convince themselves and others. And that's often a bad sign for their short term. Now, for the buying zone, right? If under 19, if 1850 is the buying zone, then a lower price is also in the buying zone. For that school of thought, which could be true, and that I'm kind of thinking that's a good school of thought, but I'm not going to tell you what to think because you can think for yourself. And the previous time I saw this desperation was when silver was around 26 and, you know, it was in the mid-20s and it was hanging on by a thread. I saw a lot of posts the same thing. In fact, this one guy on YouTube, his name is like Woodham or something, Gary, he's in the Midwest or something. He had a whole video on what an engineer's perspective on silver. Why you should buy silver from an engineer. He said, all my credentials are this. He's talking about, I did this, I'm retired, blah, blah, blah. This is why you should buy silver. And he repeated all the things from 2011. And it went from the mid-20s all the way to, like, you know, under 19. That was a push. There was a push right there. And it wasn't, it wasn't like it wasn't an orc. It was like individuals were coming out of the woodwork to say this. It wasn't like there's a memo going around. It's like people popped out of the woodwork all together. Same thing right now. People who are not connected are all popping out of the woodwork saying these things. It's like there's some kind of mass, you know, was it the kind of consciousness or something? There's this mass sentiment that's going on in a lot of investors' heads. No matter how tough someone talks, right? if you're underwater and silver's 1852, a lot of people, they're kind of nervous, right? I mean, that's human nature. And as I said before, in the future, a lot of people might look back and say, man, 1852 was a great entry point. But in the near future, the close future, the people might be panicking. I mean, I was reading posts, other posts. People were saying, oh, I bought silver at 19. Should I sell now? What should I do? Wait a second. But that's the buying zone. There are people who are waiting several years, who sold it above 40, who are buying back at like under 20. So someone who's saying, should I sell my silver at 19? The time to say that was when silver was above 40 or even 30. But I'm just kind of doing anecdotal evidence, which isn't scientific proof. And these numbers, these expressions I'm saying, are probably way too big words for a lot of people on those other channels. But I'm sure you guys can handle these big vocab words. I'm also recovering from a cold, so that's why I sound funny and look funny. But then again, I think I always sound funny and look funny.